Okay, guys, we're going to get started. I appreciate you coming on today. We do have quite a few new faces in the audience, which is great. For those of you that are new to coming to the webinars, as always, I try to keep these things pretty quick, to the point. Obviously, we could talk about LinkedIn for 2 days straight, and you probably would be overwhelmed. So we're just going to keep things easy, to the point, and try to give you some things to work on over the next week. Last week, we had a really good webinar where we talked about a lot of the changes that occurred to LinkedIn over the last 3 months. As most of you guys know, they completely revamped a lot of things. We kind of went through the changes, and I promised everybody that this week we would go through how to really utilize the setup aspects of some of those changes, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and get you focused on what you should be doing from a setup standpoint. As always, this webinar is recorded. It is going to be put on YouTube. If anyone wants to re-watch it, just email me. I'll send you a copy, and you can certainly re-watch it later. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to do a little theory, a little setup, and obviously give you some things to work on. But we're really going to talk about understanding the 3 parts of LinkedIn. We're going to talk about setting up the basic aspect of your profile, and we're going to talk about creating a social media system with LinkedIn, so that you can actually utilize it. So that being said, honestly, guys, one of the most common phone calls I seem to get from people is people will call me up and they'll tell me LinkedIn doesn't work. And as most of you guys know, I've been in the insurance industry for a long time, been working with brokers for at least 16 years now. And I don't look at things as working or not working. To me, either you make it work or you fail. It's pretty simple. And with LinkedIn, it's not broken, guys. 200 million Americans are on this thing every day. The question is can you figure out how to use it as a tool for yourself? You're either going to succeed or you're going to fail. It's not broken. It's not like it didn't work for you. So the thing I always try to explain is look, it's complicated. It's time consuming, and it could be a complete train wreck for you if you don't know what you're doing. So what I've tried to do right now is just kind of break it down for you into the 3 keys, the 3 parts that you need to utilize to be successful. So today we're going to kind of talk about part 1, which is proper setup. And in my opinion, this is where the money is made on LinkedIn. And also, in my opinion, this is where most insurance agents and agencies fail, because they don't see number 1 as being that important. They want to quickly go to number 2 and number 3, and they want to kind of pass over number 1. So part 1 to success is having a profile that is strategically set up to convert traffic. So what does that mean, guys? Well, what that means is you want to set your profile up so that when you're using part 2, which is adding connections, and part 3, which is marketing to the connections, you want to make sure that when people are coming back and taking a look, that your profile is set up and designed to actually convert the traffic that you're creating. Let me break that down in more layman's terms. LinkedIn's pretty simple. A lot of people use it. That's why, as salesmen, we want to use it, because people pay attention to it. LinkedIn gives you kind of a mini website, which is your profile, okay? You want to have that profile strategically set up. And I'll go through this in a few minutes, meaning you want to put specific information on how you help people. You want to let people know, your background. You want to have expertise, recommendations, etc. Because as you become successful with LinkedIn, you're going to start to connect with people, which is going to build up your what's called distribution. You're going to build up connections, and as you build these connections, it becomes like a database. And just like with email, you have the ability to market to this database. The problem is when you're marketing to all your connections, they end up coming back and looking at your profile. So in layman's terms, if your profile is not set up professionally, you're not going to get results. You are going to fail. So all the work you do with number 2 and number 3 end up just being a waste of time. So I'm rambling on here, guys, But I think my point is that if you want to be successful with LinkedIn, you have to put in a lot of time into step one, which is strategically setting up your profile to convert the traffic that it creates. 95% of you, I guarantee, do not have a profile set up correctly. I guarantee it. Because at the end of the day, you've gone to all these seminars that have told you about number 2 and number 3, and that's where you've put all the time. So let's kind of just quickly go through proper setup, okay, of the profile. So obviously, when you go into LinkedIn, you want to hit Profile, Edit Profile up top here. That's going to let you edit the profile. You'll see when I click on my contact information, I have obviously my email address, my work phone number, and most importantly, all of my websites listed. But more important than listing my websites, they're all customized. You'll see it says Snoozy Incorporated website, Insurance Agent Technology, like us on Facebook. Probably 70% of the people on today's call, if I go to the website section, it probably says personal website or company website. And what I'm telling you is you need to change that. You need to come in here, click on Edit Contact Info, click on the pencil next to websites, and make sure in the drop-down, you'll see it says personal website, company website, choose the other tab. And that will allow you to put what's called a custom tag in to label your website. Okay, quick and easy one. Now, here's really where, like I said, the money's made, guys. Your summary. This is absolutely, positively the most important part of your LinkedIn profile. And this is where most insurance agents struggle because they're not really sure who they are and how they help people. So here are my tips. My tip is in this section, you need to have probably 4 to 6 sentences. And it should cover these key 3 things. Who you help, how you help them, and how they can request your help. Your summary needs to have those 3 things in there, okay? Just to give you an example, I would probably say that 60 to 70% of all insurance agents, this is what their summary says. We are a full-service insurance agency offering auto, home, life, and health insurance. Call us today for a free quote. That's their summary, okay? Is there anything wrong with it? No. But it doesn't answer the 3 key things I told you need to have in there. Who do you help? So what does that mean? Who is your target market? Do you work with business owners, individuals, restaurant owners in Chicago? You need to identify to these people who you help. Yes, you may tell me, well, Ken, we're a full-service shop. We help everyone. I don't care. When you say you help everyone, that doesn't make you stand out. It makes you seem generic. So for LinkedIn's purposes, you are going to have to suck it up and choose. Choose who you help the most. Who has the highest percentage of your revenue? Even if it's only 40%, if it's restaurant owners, you need to put that there because that is what's going to help you convert. Remember, 200 million people use LinkedIn. You need to stand out. So tip number 1 in that paragraph is you have to identify who you help. Then you need to tell them how you're going to help them. Maybe it's, hey, we offer, commercial liability for restaurant owners. We come in, analyze your restaurant, and, design a specific risk management plan that allows us to keep you protected when the unexpected happens. I don't know what it is, but you have to identify to your target market how you help them and why you're better than the guy down the street. And then 3, you have to give them a way to go to the next step. That may mean putting your email address in. Please email me if you'd like, a free consultation. It may say, please visit bobsinsurance.com, to learn more about us. But I don't mean to ramble, but I know a lot of you guys go to seminars and they always say call to action, right? You have to have call to action. That's exactly what you need to have in that summary paragraph. You must have call to action. Tell these people how to get to the next step. If you do not have a next step and you're not sure what that is, give me a call and I'll try to help you out with some web design stuff because you need to have a next step. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be long. One of the things I hear from most of my clients or most agents is I'm not a very good writer. I don't know if I can write that much. This shouldn't be overwhelming to you. This should be your day-to-day. This is why you're successful. This is kind of like your elevator speech. So it shouldn't be that hard. Keep it simple. Shorter is always better than longer. And like I said, it doesn't have to be written by a PhD. So that becomes really one of the most important aspects of the LinkedIn profile. And you'll see in mine, I kind of immediately identify, who do I help? Insurance agents. Why am I unique? And I explain it. How to get to the next step. Email me. And I've actually taken it to the next level and put 2 videos that I've created where brokers can review my services. They can actually click on this stuff and go in and watch these videos right from my LinkedIn page. And again, why am I doing this? Because I feel LinkedIn allows me to get new clients. It allows me to get people to pay attention, and it allows me to convert them. And for those of you that were on last week, we talked about some of these new features on LinkedIn, that you have the ability in here to upload videos, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs. You'll see next to the summary section here, right here, guys. I'm trying to draw a little squiggly arrow here. Not the best arrow maker, but right here, there's a new button that allows us to add these things. And again, and when I click on it, you'll see add link, upload file. And I know a lot of you guys may be health insurance agents. Maybe you have a really good PowerPoint that explains to people in a little bit more detail how you help their small group or their large group. Maybe, like I said, you're involved in the auto and health home industry and you have some stuff. But my point is that this summary section is very important. You need to have the proper verbiage, and now you need to actually go to another level and maybe have a video or maybe have some sort of PowerPoint that goes through the nitty-gritty on how you help these people. Because like I said in the first 2 minutes, once you start to use the next step in LinkedIn, which means you start to connect with people, then you start to send the people you connect with messages and you start to market to them, they always come back to take a look at your profile. So this becomes your chance to convert them. And they're going to go into that summary section, and they're going to give you 5 to 10 seconds to convince them that they want to learn more about how you can help them. And that's going to be the difference between you, maybe, and your competition. To some of you, this may sound crazy, but to me, again, I just kind of look at the basic entrepreneurial aspect of it, that all of this stuff should be set up, it should be done efficiently, and you should still be doing all of the other stuff you're doing from a marketing perspective, and LinkedIn kind of works for you, if that makes sense. So I don't mean to ramble on, and like I said, the first thing I said is we can talk about LinkedIn for 24 hours, 2 days maybe, and still you're not an expert at it. But what I want everyone to take away from today is to go into their profile and don't look at the profile as yourself. Try to look at it as someone who doesn't know you. And does your profile convince them that you can be an asset to them? That's what you have to ask yourself. And what I want you to also think about is there's a lot of new features where you can add videos. You'll see that I've added even some pictures of some of my old experiences. I've added some of my blogs that I've published. Those things add to your credibility. And you may think of it as, well, I don't have the time to do that and put all that stuff in. I'm too busy running my business. I guess my point is if you don't have time to set up your profile correctly, don't even bother to use LinkedIn because you're not going to be successful with number 2 and number 3. Setting up the profile takes about a half hour at the most to do it correctly. Number 2 and number 3 can take a lot longer. But why waste all that time trying to market if you know you're not going to convert the traffic anyway? So that being said, I appreciate everyone coming on today. Again, as I mentioned, I try to keep things pretty quick. Next week we're going to talk, I believe it's next week, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about some of the marketing tools and some of the other little things you need to be doing to be successful. So I'm going to